On days of our lives, secrets are never harmless. They don't stay buried, they don't fade quietly, and they never come without consequences. This week, one secret, still unspoken, still hidden, is quietly positioning itself to destroy everything Johnny DiMera thinks he understands about his life. Chanel Dupree DiMera knows the truth. Johnny doesn't. And that imbalance is dangerous, because when the truth finally surfaces, and it always does in Salem, Johnny's world won't just change. It will shatter. Today, we're breaking down Chanel's silence, Johnny's emotional vulnerability, and why this secret isn't just shocking. It's explosive. Johnny DiMera doesn't look like a man on the verge of collapse. He's calm, composed, functioning, and that's exactly why he's in danger. E.J. DiMera's disappearance has unsettled Johnny far more deeply than he's willing to admit. Not because he wants his father back in his life, but because it rips open a chapter he never truly closed. Yes, Johnny cut E.J. out. Yes, the relationship was fractured, painful, and deeply damaged. But emotional distance is not emotional resolution. Johnny never resolved his feelings toward E.J. He only buried them. And now that E.J. is missing, those buried emotions are clawing their way back to the surface. Regret, anger, guilt, a love he doesn't want to acknowledge. Johnny never sought reconciliation, but he never wished harm on his father either. And that contradiction is eating away at him. So Johnny does what he has always done when emotions become too heavy. He compartmentalizes. He convinces himself he's fine. He minimizes his own pain. He pushes forward as if nothing is wrong. But this isn't strength. It's emotional suppression. And suppressed emotions don't disappear. They accumulate, they compound, and eventually, they collapse under their own weight. Johnny is carrying too much. Unresolved family trauma, emotional confusion, and the constant pressure of being okay when he's anything but. He's standing at the edge of emotional exhaustion, and he has no idea that the most destabilizing truth of his life is already beside him, quietly waiting to fall. In the midst of Johnny's unraveling, Chanel steps into the role she knows best: support. She becomes his emotional anchor, steady, present, and reassuring when everything else feels uncertain. She listens without pushing. She offers comfort without judgment. She promises they'll face whatever comes next together. And on the surface, this is love at its most sincere. But beneath that sincerity lies a dangerous imbalance. Because Chanel is carrying a truth that would fundamentally change everything Johnny believes about his future. She's pregnant. And this isn't a simple announcement waiting for the right moment. This pregnancy comes with medical risks, serious emotional implications, and enormous weight for a couple already stretched thin by stress, fear, and responsibility. Chanel understands Johnny's fragility right now. She sees the cracks forming beneath his calm exterior. She senses how close he is to breaking. And she's terrified of becoming the final push. So she makes a choice. She stays silent. Not because she wants to deceive him, not because she's protecting herself, but because she's afraid. Afraid of overwhelming him. Afraid of destroying what stability he has left. Afraid of turning his grief over EJ into something even heavier. And in that fear, Chanel convinces herself that silence is kindness. But silence is not neutral. It shifts power. It delays reality. It reshapes trust. By choosing not to tell Johnny the truth, Chanel unknowingly takes control of his emotional timeline, deciding when he gets to know, when he gets to process, and when his life changes forever. And that makes this secret infinitely more dangerous. Because secrets born from love don't fade quietly. They explode. This storyline isn't shocking because of the pregnancy itself. It's shocking because of what the silence represents. At its core, this is a story about honesty versus control. By choosing not to tell Johnny the truth, Chanel unintentionally crosses an invisible line. She doesn't just delay information. She takes away Johnny's agency. She decides when his reality changes. She decides how much emotional weight he's allowed to carry. And she decides whether he gets to be part of decisions that will shape his future. That shift in power is subtle, but it's devastating. Johnny believes he is standing on solid emotional ground with Chanel. He believes the support he's receiving is complete. He believes he's being trusted with the full truth. But that belief is false. The foundation beneath him is already fractured. He just hasn't felt the cracks yet. And when this secret finally comes out, because secrets in Salem never stay buried, Johnny's shock won't come from the pregnancy. It will come from the realization that something this life-altering was kept from him while he was already struggling to stay upright. He won't feel surprised. He'll feel betrayed. Not because Chanel is pregnant, but because she decided he couldn't handle the truth. And for someone like Johnny, that realization cuts deeper than any lie ever could. What makes this storyline especially volatile is Johnny's emotional history. Johnny has grown up surrounded by secrets. Family secrets, manipulated truths, and carefully constructed lies meant to protect him. He has lived through betrayal, through emotional manipulation, through being told that deception was for his own good. And every time, the result was the same: damage. Johnny has spent much of his life trying to distance himself from the DiMera legacy of lies. From control disguised as concern, from chaos disguised as love, from silence disguised as protection. That's why trust matters so deeply to him. So when Johnny eventually learns that Chanel, the one person he believes is different, the one person he believes is fully honest with him, withheld something this enormous, it won't simply reopen old wounds. It will confirm his deepest, most painful fear: that even love is conditional, that even the people who care about him will decide what he's allowed to know, that honesty is always temporary. And that realization won't trigger explosive anger. It will trigger something far more dangerous: withdrawal, emotional shutdown, a quiet collapse inward, the kind of damage that doesn't announce itself and doesn't heal easily. This secret isn't devastating simply because of what it is. It's devastating because of when it exists. Johnny DiMera is not standing on stable ground. He's already been destabilized by EJ's disappearance, a loss that forces him to confront unresolved emotions he never wanted to face. He's surrounded by family chaos, pulled in multiple emotional directions, and quietly questioning who he is, what he believes, and what his future is supposed to look like. Johnny is already overloaded, so introducing a life-altering secret into that emotional environment doesn't create balance. It creates collapse. And Chanel understands this, perhaps better than anyone. She sees how fragile Johnny's emotional state really is. She senses how close he is to shutting down. And she knows that telling him the truth right now could push him over the edge. That's why her silence continues. But silence doesn't stop time. It compresses it. Every unspoken moment adds pressure. Every delayed conversation increases impact. Every day the truth is withheld makes the eventual reveal more violent. When this secret finally surfaces, Johnny won't just be reacting to the pregnancy. He'll be reacting to everything he hasn't had the chance to process yet, all at once. And that's what makes the timing so dangerous. When Johnny finally learns the truth, his first reaction won't be rage. It will be disbelief. The kind that freezes you in place. The kind that makes you question whether you heard correctly. Then confusion will set in. Why wasn't I told? How long has this been going on? Who else knew? And then comes the realization that this wasn't just a delayed conversation. It was a decision made for him. And that's when devastation hits. Johnny won't simply ask, "Why didn't you tell me?" He'll ask questions that cut far deeper. Did you think I couldn't handle this? Did you think I wasn't strong enough to face my own life? Did you decide my reality without me? Those questions don't lead to shouting matches. They lead to withdrawal. Johnny's pain won't explode outward. It will turn inward. Emotional shutdown. Distance. A loss of trust that's difficult to articulate and even harder to repair. Because this isn't about the secret itself. It's about what the silence says. On days of our lives, the most dangerous secrets aren't born from cruelty. They're born from fear, from love, from protection, from the belief that silence is kinder than truth. Chanel believes she's shielding Johnny from further pain. But in reality, she may be setting the stage for the hardest emotional fall of his life. Because when love and silence collide, the result is rarely peace. It's impact. Johnny doesn't see it yet. He doesn't feel the ground shifting beneath him. But his world is already standing on a fault line. And one shocking truth, when it finally breaks free, is going to fracture everything he thought was solid. Stay tuned, because in Salem, silence never lasts. And when the truth comes out, it doesn't whisper. It hits.